of all of these, we have in the studio Razak Olokoba, convener, Coalition of Odua Self-Determination Group. It's good to have you join me this morning.
You, good morning.
Nice.
And good morning, viewers at home.
Okay. Now, this issue of constitutional review is, every time the exercise comes, of course, you get to hear people's opinion, people individually, people as a collective, groups of ethnic, regional, states, and so on, which is okay. That's the beauty of who we are and all of that. But when you watch what's going on in this constitutional review process, the public hearings, what is striking for you?
First and foremost, there's a universal agreement that something is largely wrong with the present constitution. So any attempt to look at what we can do about it, we will always be part of it. It's not as if we have come to the conclusion that the constitutional review is the desired change we are all clamoring for. But for historical purpose, that we are nation builders. We don't destroy, we make every attempt to build. Just like what the popular fear, that it may also go down the drain of the way the previous ones has gone. The first amendment was during Obasanjo's time in 1999, which was chaired by Brian Mantu and Austin that's the Senate, the vice.
The deputy Senate president at the time.
And Austin Okpara, the deputy speaker as at that time. It was not only because of the third time agenda that led to the failure of that amendment, but because the fear of everybody that will this constitution take us to the promised land we have always been talking about. And that is what has led to the failure of many other constitutional review that we've been witnessing. The one that is on board now also as well, we have not seen the failure of that exercise, the constitution, as much as now. There are crises everywhere. And our conclusion is that the constitution at the moment is responsible for why there's insecurity in the nation, why the previous president has been never out of office. If you look at what Buhari said on the Twitter that was pulled down, you look at the helplessness of Mr. President, and you come to the conclusion that Buhari has been misunderstood, and by extension is that he has also misunderstood Nigerians. When Obasanjo was there, it was also short of saying similar thing. Jonathan also came on board, and it looks as if to Jonathan, as if the people have personal issue with me. And that's the picture we are seeing in Mr. Buhari now. And the review on ground now, our appeal to the president and the stakeholder is to first recognize the fact that why do you want to be taken responsible for all the problem in Nigeria? If you look at it from that point of view, you will begin to understand what we are saying, what we are talking about. That why must you be the one that people will hold responsible for economy, for security, for healthcare, for everything? If you are responsible for everything, then you must be ready to be blamed
when all these things
go wrong. And that is from that perspective that the president should then understand when we are saying that there are two responsibilities in your hand. You have to devolve it. For instance, look at security. God forbid, if a thief enters this studio now, it is not your responsibility only to ensure that the food does not cause damage. It's the responsibility of all of us. So in Nigeria too, put all the security outfit together, the numbers, the police, the NCDC, even the immigration, the custom, by extension, the army, they are not up to 5 million. So 5 million people, that's been generous. Can they be responsible for the security of 250 million Nigerians? There's no way it's done in the world. So what we are saying in essence is that this constitutional review that is coming on board, people don't have so much faith in it. But at times, setback can become victory in most cases. And that's what led to our participation in it. So we went there, we submitted our proposal, and this proposal is not the proposal of an organization. It's a popular proposal. Pobia has been talking about the political structure of this country. That can we look at 1963 Constitution, which described a nation, that Nigeria is
a federal nation.
Yes, a country of several ethnic groups. And such a nation, you don't run a system that will concentrate power in an individual. There must be devolution, devolve power. Give the people the impression that this country belongs to all of us. It belongs to you, and that is what engender patriotism. When you have an impression that this country belongs to me. So if you look at that, the model of 1963 Constitution, you look at how befitting it is as at that time. You look at how people were doing their own things. Nobody is holding anybody responsible for the calamity that is befalling them, because we knew that at a point, this structure in place today, ethnic group will hold another ethnic group responsible, because power is at the center. So any president that came on board under this constitution is always interpreted to mean a Yoruba government when Obasanjo was there, and a Jaw government when Jonathan was there, a Fulani government when Buhari was there, because the power. But if give component parts power to run their life, nobody will hold you responsible for anything.
What do you make of people who are saying that this constitution was drafted and given to us by the military, so let's jettison it and come up with a brand new constitution? What do you make of that narrative?
That is why we are saying that we want a referendum to be part of the constitution, such that that move will be placed before Nigeria at a referendum. That, do you want a new constitution? But to our shock, even the clause of secession, we propose it, that our security agents in the country are the one misprofiling individuals that spoke about secession. As I'm talking about secession now, security agents are already profiling me. That is he talking about breakup of Nigeria? And that's primitive. That's uncivilized. Because when you misdefine concept, the clause that there must be referendum, there must be secession, is to create an impression in your mind that it is not a military barrack. We are not running a regiment in Nigeria. It's free exit, free entry, and free exit. And that's only when you will see people trusting that country. If you have a clause in a marriage in Nigeria that you can't pull out of this marriage, you think people will get married? So when you run a nation where you say you can't talk about the constitution, either it is popular or it is unpopular, because on what platform are we going to determine whether people want a new constitution or they don't want? It's on the referendum. So we say that there must be a referendum in our constitution. In fact, by extension, you must also give a clause that if you want to pull out of Nigeria, see, Mike, anybody pulls out of Nigeria today, Nigeria is not going to come to an end. So don't let anybody create fear in our mind anytime anybody is talking about secession. Take it calm. It's not a misery. Germany broke up and they came back together. Russia and the Soviet Union has been living their life today. Sudan, the incessant crisis in Sudan, the southern Sudan, I'm not advocating for a breakup. What I mean is that don't create an impression in your constitution that once I have you in, you are not getting anywhere. It creates fear for the people. Right. So the constitution that you are talking about, I am going to propose that the wish of the people must prevail. If it is a popular call that we must change our constitution and it wants the people's revocation, in my own opinion, it is not a constitution that represents my interest, because I want a country where you look at our president and say, I'm a pro-Buhari person. But that does not mean that the errors of Mr. President should not be pronounced. It's a repeated error. It's a refusal to listen to people who are sincere enough to tell him that structures of this country is wrong. The powers in your hand are too much. And that's, nobody had personal issue with you, Mr. President. Get genuine people to define what is called devolution of power. Let them understand, let them explain to you the implication. It's from the military background of a regiment, Obasanjo, from a regiment orientation. It's difficult for you to convince a general to say that a section, power must be. So, but get someone that is sincere, that you trust, to explain the concept. It is not wrong if you educate the president. There's nothing wrong about it. Because we look at the speech of the president. In fact,
whoever the president is
must be educated, yes.
Of course, because if you bring experts to help you.
Yes, if you look at the way he said, what is it in the constitution that we have not done? When a president speaks like that, he's thinking that do people have something personal against me? And that is the basis of the contention, that constitution you are running the country on the basis is not, it is what is making people look or have the impression in the mind of the people that Mr. President is not getting this right. Because you should know that when you say security stops on my table, not on the table of the governor that says that the security officer of the nation, not at the table of local government chairmen who make law but who don't have power to enforce the law. Only you and the IG. You will be held responsible. Any killings in the country today, Buhari's name will be called. Yes. Any economic woe that befall us today, Buhari will be called, because the power in the hand of the governors. They all go to Abuja, Capenad, and some states are saying that, for instance, Lagos is saying, when I generate this much, and that's what causes special status. When I generate this much, I will first take the money I generate to Abuja. How do you run a country like that? Then you give me pittance. And there are states who does virtually nothing based on people's impression, that does nothing and goes to Abuja. And that kind of state have the capacity. For instance, Kogi State. Kogi State is second richest country in terms of mineral resources in Nigeria. But what is it contribute to the IGP of the country today? Nothing. Virtually nothing. But it goes to Abuja every month, including Kwara, including Nasarawa, including several states in the south and the south. So all this type of thing are things we say we should address so that we have our nation back.
There is also the notion that the constitution we are talking about, let us assume that all the agitation from the 200 billion Nigerians, are brought on the table, and then their wishes are carried out as to how they want the new constitution to be. But there's the notion that even if you do that, and the mindset is still the same, the problem is still not solved.
No, there's nothing like mindset when you have strong institutions. Institutions.
But who strengthens this constitution? Because it is still human beings.
No. Institutions strengthens.
Former President Obama
when you have strong institutions, as much as Trump will have loved to throw millions of people out of America, they have a strong institution.
Yeah.
But that was prevented.
But that institution we're talking about are people, not necessarily.
No. It's not people. Churches must build people, not the pastor. The laws in the church is what makes it compel a pastor to do a particular line.
Exactly.
And also mosque. So if you have a strong institution that says that the president has so power, the governor has so power, any state that mismanages the economy these people will have a basis to compare that state with Lagos, who has little land mass and people are ready to pay 150 million for a plot of land. And your own state, the biggest land mass in Niger State, people, even if they give you for free, you don't want to take it now. People, there will be a basis for comparison. So institutions is what built. Before in Nigeria, we went like this. This is not the mindset. The 25 to the 1 year to 25, or from 30 downward, they have not witnessed good Nigeria. Yeah. And that is why there's a growing ideology of violence. And that's why we're pointing attention of our parliamentary, which was our last proposal, that expunge the parliament from Nigeria today. We won't miss them. Judiciary in a day, we have been begging them to come back now. Executive, the police, the economy. But they have not made significant contribution to our life. They are supposed to be the one, because that's part of our proposal, that the value they are adding to the nation, you need telescope and binocular to be searching for it. So their salary should be brought down to the salary of the highest paid civil servant in Nigeria. They have a lot of staff. I said 9 staff. That day, the chairman of the occasion said, one of the people presented their opposition. He said, even with his 5, have you been able to talk about free economy? Is it healthcare? Okay. Is it economy? So the parliament has a question to answer now. That all these proposals, will this go through? Because that is the fear of many people, that this thing should not be taken to the parliament. The Emir of Sokoto said that the owners of Nigeria are those ancient people that brought 1914 and Nigeria together. The Fulanis, the Yorubas in the Oyo Empire. So people said that those are the people that are supposed to be debating what do we want. That taking it back to the National Assembly may not succeed, because they will subject it to debate. There are people who don't believe in police. That's state police.
That's a great argument.
Who don't believe in restructuring. People who don't believe in devolution of power are the parliament.
All right, we have to leave. That's a very great argument. But the point there is, others will argue that this Yoruba, Igbo, Hausa, Fulani, TV, Gede, and all of that, they all have their representative in the National Assembly already. So, you know, they will argue from that perspective.
Their mandate is to make law.
Yeah, exactly. Let's leave it here for today. This is an ongoing discussion we're going to have as we get along. Razak Olokoba, thank you so much for coming.
Mike, it's a pleasure being with you. Thank you.